You buying that? All right, I promised you some MJ and LeBron. We'll kick things off with former NFL quarterback Brady Quinn, who said he's got a theory, okay, we love a theory, that Michael Jordan joined NBC to beat LeBron to sports media. Chandler, are you buying that?
I really don't think Michael Jordan, with his billions of dollars and his great life and his golf course and cigars and tequila, is sitting there.
Can I stop you?
Worried about LeBron.
Both are billionaires.
That's true. They both are. They're doing quite well.
I don't think he's doing media now. I don't think he's that petty to do media next season.
Stop.
To beat LeBron James to it.
I really need this to stop. Like, if you think Michael Jordan's showing up for these, like, the meetings before the show, and he's going to be texting back and forth all week with ideas, just stop.
I'll take it a step further. Can the football guys let us have our arguments, please?
Oh, I see what you're doing. Well, I think Brady Quinn has to do like a daily show.
I'm just sparking it back up.
Well, it's
because some bad takes.
I don't think Jordan's worried.
Some bad takes, man.
I really don't.
Also, yeah, I never got the feeling, and maybe I'm wrong, I never got the feeling that MJ was worried about LeBron. It always felt like LeBron was competing with MJ and the ghost of. To me, I don't know why. I don't know what MJ's proving.
Like you said, we don't know how much he's going to actually do.
We know exactly how much he's going to do. It's going to be two things.
I think it's cool he's doing it, but again, I think if he's doing it, it's because he's bored. He wants to do it. It's not because he's.
Can you imagine MJ on one of our threads? Like, guys, what do you think? Tyrese Halliburton a superstar? No, that's not happening. He's not doing any of these things.
And because of that, to your point, Michelle, everybody is chasing the ghost of Jordan.
Of course.
Right? But at some point, we got to let the ghost be the ghost. Like, we talk about superstar status. Michael Jordan is always going to be Michael Jordan. We got to stop making him the bar for every single guy that starts.
He kind of is.
Getting there. He is, and it's deserved, but it's like at this point, allow nostalgia to be nostalgia. Like, we hadn't seen Michael Jordan play a game in close to 25 years.
Don't remind me.
You know, almost 25 years. And if some of the quotes that I've seen coming from him are true and authentic, like I saw one where it said that he was doing this to kind of put to bed a lot of these narratives and conversations. I don't know that to be an authentic quote from Michael Jordan, but if it's true, I would appreciate that. Because at some point, we got to move on. We got to let the game push forward. And we can never do that if everything is going to always revert back to the great Michael Jordan. As great as he is, as big as his impact is, as tremendous as his influence is, we got to push forward at some point.
I will say it would be awesome. Like, if he did, like, I want to hear his take on.
Oh, you think he's good? Yeah, if he gives some hot takes.
I would love to hear what he has to say about the current players, as him being who he is and what he's done. I would love it if it actually was going to happen.
It will be the most viral sports media moment.
I don't think he's just doing it to beat LeBron James. I really don't. I think everyone now has this platform and can do a show or a podcast or whatever, but I don't think he's doing it to compete with LeBron James. I really don't.
Well, Brady Quinn, we do not agree with your theory. So that one's
because if that was the case, Michael Jordan doesn't need NBC to get any message out.
Ever.
He doesn't need NBC. He doesn't need any network to get any message out that he wants. This is the same person that sent out a fax and just said, "I'm back." Everybody got the word.
A fax.
Everybody got the news.
He can literally walk outside.
He can sit on his porch and say what he want to say, and it would be just as impactful as him sitting on NBC. I don't think this is in competition for anybody at this point for Michael Jordan.
Also, in fairness, LeBron does have a bit of a little media empire going already, so he's kind of in
to that point, LeBron hasn't had to sit on anybody's show to get his points across, things that he wants to discuss. He does his own. They don't need to. Yeah, neither one of these guys have to compete with one another at this juncture in their careers, especially sports media.
They're both superstars, guys.
They are.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Quintessential. All right, so then let's get to LeBron's future, because Rich Paul was asked about that, said he has no idea, that he's focused on the draft right now. There was, of course, the report yesterday, Shams, saying that it looks like LeBron probably will opt in on that player option of like $53 million or whatever the heck it is for next year. But Lou, I'll start with you. Are you buying that Rich Paul has no idea?
Yeah, I'm buying that.
Stop. What?
I'm buying 100%.
What are you talking about?
Because you have a 41-year-old client that he doesn't need an agent to. Rich Paul doesn't have to know.
But you know he knows.
He knows.
If LeBron doesn't, if obviously, is LeBron coming back next year?
Yes.
All right. So what else does Rich Paul need to know besides that?
So then why say you don't know?
Because if he doesn't know, because again, he just told you, I'm focused on the draft. I got young clients that actually needs me day to day. LeBron James doesn't need Rich Paul to deal with his day to day at this point in his career. Again, we're talking about a billion.
Can't multitask your thoughts?
No, but we're talking about a billionaire who's accompanying himself, he doesn't have to. What contracts does LeBron James have to negotiate?
He has till June 29th to be like, yep, I'll take the money. Boom.
That's what I'm saying. What contract does he need negotiated?
Nothing. It's done.
He doesn't need anything.
Unless he wants to do a little breakdown where they can bring in some more people.
Yeah, like he doesn't need Rich Paul for anything that's going to move forward to LeBron. At this point, LeBron James has a price that's set. Either you can meet it or you can't, and that's when we get on the phone. Other than that, yes, I got young clients at Clutch that could use me from day to day. LeBron James, he doesn't need Rich Paul to do this for him at this point in his career from day to day.
I agree that he doesn't need him, and
we agree on that.
He's as one of his best friends and his agent. You know damn well he knows exactly.
But this
what
ain't even like
this
not even a sexy conversation whether LeBron is going to play or not next year.
Because we all know he is.
That's what I'm saying. So what's the big deal about him saying, well, I don't know, I don't care? Like
I don't care would have been a lot better answer than I don't know. No, in fairness.
Why can't his answer just be his answer?
If the question is, are you buying that Rich Paul has no idea? If the question,
why can't his answer be his answer?
If the question is, are you buying that Rich Paul has no idea, then
that is the question.
No, I'm not buying that.
Okay. So yeah.
By the way, I know he doesn't need him, but he's paid to know. He's paid to know that. Like,
and again, it's going to be 2 against 1 in this argument because we are talking about somebody who doesn't need his best friend agent to be his agent at this point in his career. What is there to negotiate for LeBron James?
But that was not the question.
The question was, do you know if he's going to play or not next year? I have no idea. I don't care if he plays.
That's the problem.
He doesn't. Again.
Oh. I think he knows. I think he knows whether he's playing. I think he knows whether he's going to opt out, opt in, and whether it's the Lakers or if not. I think he knows everything.
Are we going to maneuver
whether he should or not, or whether he needs him or not? I think he knows everything.
He does not need him. I think we all agree on that. Disagree? Does he take like a legit percentage, Rich Paul, at this point?
Is he taking 4%?
Like, does he take like 1%?
He's taking, he's got to be a fraction.
There's got to be a deal, right?
I didn't pay 4%. You think LeBron's paying his best friend 4%?
Of course you didn't. You're the cheapest. I swear to God. Okay, let's move on. Michael Jordan. Some more Michael Jordan.
You don't think Rich Paul has any idea?
Michael Jordan again?
Yeah, but it's not him. He didn't do it.
Michael Jordan, LeBron James.
It's his agent. No, it's LeBron. It's LeBron. It's Michael Jordan's agent, David Falk. This one's, I'll be curious what you think about it. He does not rank LeBron as a top 2 player of all time. He said that if Jordan had had the opportunity to cherry pick his teams that he wanted to be on and 2 other superstars, that he probably would have had 15 titles. Chandler, this one has spice to it if you want to get into it. Because it's a little bit crazy.
I think he's wrong. I think he's jealous. I think he is out of his mind. I think LeBron James is either the best or second best player of all time. And again, that's a whole other argument. Like, so that seems a little bitter. That seems a little.
I'm proud of you, Chandler.
Jealous. That is.
Luke, guess what?
Silly. And also, it's a hypothetical get. It's ridiculous.
No, he's right.
I couldn't disagree with this.
You know how I feel about LeBron? He's definitely number 2. It's 100% number 2.
But I mean, so the fact that he's saying he's not a top 2 player,
it's a little bit
and weird and
crazy
jealous.
Talk out loud.
We can go on and on about this, man, but listen, again, we gotta let nostalgia be nostalgia. We gotta let the game push forward. It was a different age. It was a different time that these things were going on. Listen, Michael Jordan never had to go leave and be that because the super teams came to him. Scottie Pippen was drafted to the Chicago Bulls. Dennis Rodman came over to the Chicago Bulls. Luke Longley, Tony Kukoc, all of these guys, those guys were international superstars in their own rights. Tony Kukoc was.
Sure.
In his own right when he came over. These guys were like household names. And again, at that time, who didn't want to play with Michael Jordan? So a lot of the talented guys that could have stood on their own 2 feet and been really good players in the NBA, they came and linked up with the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan in Chicago. Now, if I'm LeBron James and I live in Cleveland and I got an opportunity to do something special with one of my homeboys and he's in Miami, we're going to have a conversation and say, well, you know what? If we're going to spend a lot of time somewhere, let's do it down in South Beach.
Not awful.
Yeah, not an awful view.
By the way, I just came up with a theory. This puts Brady Quinn's theory to... What if Michael Jordan told David Falk to say that out loud?
He's the Raven.
The fire.
start his media.
Yes. So that way he's coming in hot.
It.
Okay, all right, something's there. All right, Lou. Chris Childs said that Michael Jordan was one of the dirtiest players, saying he would cheap shot you. Are you buying that?
Yeah, I'm buying that.
When you think of Chris Childs, what do you think of?
Punching Kobe. That's what I think. But absolutely, you have to. When everybody's taking cheap shots on you, at some point, you got to fight back and you got to tell guys, listen, the bullies get bullied. I'm not going for this anymore.
Fair.
And at some point, Michael Jordan had to start. You got to fight fire with fire. So I don't care about Michael Jordan being one of the dirtiest players. I wouldn't expect anything different.
Yeah, if I had to play against Bill Laimbeer body slamming me and suplexing me to the floor every time, I would be dirty too. So I definitely am buying this, and I think he should be and has every right to be.
It's a lot of MJ today. Kind of love that for us. All right, this one's not MJ. It's the next best thing. Austin Reaves, his agent sent a message, because he's always a part of all these trade rumors, right? Like, this has been going on for quite some time. So the message from the agent was, next year's going to be a show. You have no idea what's coming. Keep putting him in trade rumors for a second-string center. That's a
he
feisty...
He sent this message to
the
who?
Agent. Yeah, that's a good question.
Who's the agent? Who's his agent?
I don't know who the agent
but
is.
Who did he text that to? Like the GM?
Somehow we know.
He must have texted the Shams. How we got it?
Yeah, but it doesn't say Shams. Oh, Aaron Riley's the agent. To whom he sent it, not sure.
Whoever he sent it to, that ain't your friend, bro.
That is a feisty message, is it not?
Well, and then you hear Shams yesterday saying how this is going to be the craziest free agency, ever.
He did say that.
I think we do need to buckle up for the summer. I think there's going to be a lot of moves. I think there's a lot of big names.
Oh, it's even worse. It was a social media post. So it's just a blanket statement to the world.
Listen, I think, and also when you're an
Austin, social media post.
As a player, like you kind of get numb and used to being in these rooms.
I know, but do you want your agent doing that?
No.
No.
Because he's actually playing a dangerous game, because if it isn't the season that you would expect it to be, that's gonna mess with negotiations, bro.
Yeah, I don't think. Look, I get it.
Austin
Reaves, I'm assuming, would love to just stay in LA. Like, let's just let this be a thing. But I don't know that your agent. I don't know. It's like a family member putting stuff out there. I don't love that.
And I think they need to find a way to keep Austin Reaves too. We just talked about how Jalen Brunson has kind of gone downhill a bit in this series because of the usage rate and not getting off the ball. I don't want that to happen to Luka either. And he's got a perfect running mate right now with Austin Reaves, kind of offset that load offensively. So I think they should find a way. They desperately need a center. Luka desperately wants a lob threat for them to kind of complete that roster. I think the Mark Williams thing was a good fit. Someone like that, a Nick Claxton, someone like that. But I would try and do that without giving up Austin Reaves.
They need a center, and Austin Reaves has value. I get all of this. I'm sure it doesn't feel great, though. Let's stick with Luka. Jason Gallagher, producer of the podcast Mind the Game, and also happens to be a huge Dallas fan, said that he's heard that Luka's already in the mindset of changing a lot about himself. I mean, we've seen some of the images coming out from overseas. He looks slimmer. Are you buying, Lou, that we're going to see the best version of Luka next season?
Yeah, I think year by year, every player should strive to be better than the season that they had before.
Every person
if I'm Luka, though, I don't get caught up in what's being said. You're still one of the top players in the league. We just had a debate, and you were in the conversation of a superstar. I would love to see you get better and better and better, but as far as changing yourself and worrying about the weight and what you decide to do on your off time and off the court, if you can perform at a high level, I don't care what you do. You're a grown man. Grown men should be able to do whatever it is that their heart sees fit for them and that they desire. So I don't really care about all of the narratives and trying to prove people wrong, this and that, but I do love to see our best players in the world come back better and better every year, whatever that looks like for them.
He got hella fat shame, though. I mean, that is motivation.
And I do think when something happens like that to any player, especially Luka, it's humbling in a way, and it is shocking, and it kind of puts things in perspective how quickly things can change in the NBA and how much of a business it is. So I do think he maybe did some soul searching. I do think that he took whatever was true, not true about his off-the-court habits, his diet, whatever it was. I think he definitely is going to take that, and you're going to see the best version of him. And I've already said this before, he is my MVP pick for next year because he is going to be a man on a mission next year. And as long as they put the right piece around him, they get him that lob threat, he's going to dominate next year. I think this comes from losing. Not being in this conversation. One of the biggest highs that you can get is getting as far as you can in the playoffs, and that is a high. And you want to get to the pinnacle. He's been to the finals. Now I want to get back to the pinnacle. I want to get back to that place. I want all attention on me and my team at this time of year. So whether he loses 10 pounds or not, I think he's more driven by sitting and watching the playoffs than what he's eating.
Fair enough. No, I think there's a lot of motivation there to be gained. All right, when we come back, we're going to preview tonight's game, and if this is it from Minnesota.
Keep watching, Joey Juice.